Section 2, Question Set 9. Form, Structure, and Sense. Difficult questions. Question 1. Mayor's plans.
Dangling modifier with an introductory phrase.
The passage says, despite being convenient and cost-saving, blank, the electric train expansion requires the destruction of a low-income neighborhood, housing more than 3,000 families, and there is no consideration given to the increasing number of cyclists and pedestrians in the city center. The question asks which choice completes the text so that it follows the conventions of standard English. Here are the choices.
Choice A. There are two problems associated with the mayor's plans.
Choice B. The mayor's plans have two associated problems. Choice C. Two problems are associated with the mayor's plans are that. Choice D. Associated with the mayor's plans are two problems including. This question is testing modifier placement. The sentence begins with the phrase, despite being convenient and cost-saving. That phrase describes something. So the noun that comes right after the comma needs to be the thing that is convenient and cost-saving. What is convenient and cost-saving? The mayor's plans. So we want the sentence to say, despite being convenient and cost-saving, the mayor's plans have two associated problems. That makes choice B correct. Choice A is wrong because it puts the word there right after the modifier. That would make it sound like there is the thing that is convenient and cost-saving, which does not make sense. Choice C is wrong because it puts two problems right after the modifier. That would make it sound like the problems themselves are convenient and cost-saving. Choice D is also wrong because it delays the real noun, mayor's plans. The sentence needs to put mayor's plans immediately after the introductory phrase. The answer is choice B. The completed sentence is, despite being convenient and cost-saving, the mayor's plans have two associated problems. The electric train expansion requires the destruction of a low-income neighborhood, housing more than 3,000 families, and there is no consideration given to the increasing number of cyclists and pedestrians in the city center. Question 2. Mark Twain. Dangling modifier with a prepositional phrase.
The passage says,
in their review of the novels of Southern American writer Mark Twain, blank, have missed the accompanying use of both satire and irony that reflects his own distaste for slavery and a race-based hierarchy. The question asks which choice completes the text so that it follows the conventions of standard English. Here are the choices. Choice A. Modern readers often point to his use of racial slurs as evidence of Twain's own racism, but. Choice B. Twain's use of racial slurs is often pointed to by modern readers as evidence of his racism, who. Choice C. There are many modern readers who have pointed to Twain's use of racial slurs as evidence of his racism, but they. Choice D. The point about racism made by many modern readers has been that Twain used racial slurs. They.
This question is also testing modifier placement. The sentence starts with, in their review of the novels of Southern American writer Mark Twain. The word there refers to people, so after the comma, we need a noun that names the people doing the reviewing. Choice A gives us modern readers right away. That works. Modern readers can review novels.
The full idea becomes, in their review of Twain's novels, modern readers often point to his use of racial slurs as evidence of racism, but have missed his use of satire and irony.
That is grammatically and logically correct.
Choice B is wrong because it puts Twain's use of racial slurs after the modifier. That would make it sound like the use of racial slurs is reviewing the novels, which is impossible. Choice C is wrong because it puts there after the modifier. The word there cannot review novels. Choice D is wrong because it puts the point about racism after the modifier. A point cannot review novels either. The answer is choice A. Question 3. Lewis Latimer. Singular and plural possessives. The passage says, Lewis Latimer's innovative contributions to the field of electrical engineering, such as his patent for the carbon filament, earned him both the blank admiration for generations to come. The question asks which choice completes the text so that it follows the conventions of standard English.
Here are the choices. Choice A. Industry's recognition and his fellow inventors.
Choice B. Industry's recognition and his fellow inventors. Choice C. Industry's recognition and his fellow inventors. Choice D. Industry's recognition and his fellow inventors. This question is testing possessives. The sentence needs two possessive nouns. First, Latimer earned the recognition of the industry. In this sentence, industry is treated as one whole group. So the correct possessive is industries, with the apostrophe beef over the S. Second, Latimer earned the admiration of his fellow inventors. The word inventors is plural because it refers to more than one inventor. For a plural possessive that already ends in S, the apostrophe goes after the S. So the correct form is inventors, with the apostrophe after the S. Choice D has both correct forms, industry's recognition and his fellow inventors' admiration. Choice A is wrong because industries has no apostrophe.
Choice B is wrong because industries is plural, but the sentence is talking about the industry as one group. It also uses inventors, which is singular.
Choice C is partly right because industries is correct, but inventors is singular, and the sentence needs the plural possessive inventors. The answer is choice D.
Question 4. To kill a mockingbird.
Subject verb agreement with nor. The passage says, after Atticus Finch's closing arguments in the fictional trial detailed in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, it was apparent that neither the members of the jury nor the accuser blank prepared for his defense to be so effective, despite the guilty verdict. The question asks which choice completes the text so that it follows the conventions of standard English. Here are the choices. Choice A is, choice B are,
Choice C, were. Choice D, was.
This question is testing subject-verb agreement. The sentence uses the structure neither X nor Y. When a sentence uses neither and nor, the verb agrees with the subject closer to the verb. Here, the two subjects are the members of the jury and the accuser. The subject closest to the blank is the accuser. The accuser is singular, so the verb needs to be singular. The sentence is also in the past tense. It says it was apparent, so the missing verb should also be past tense. The singular past tense verb is was. Choice D is correct. Choice A is singular, but it is present tense, so it does not match the sentence. Choice B, are, is present tense and plural, so it is wrong twice. Choice C, were, is past tense, but it is plural. It may sound tempting because the phrase members of the jury is plural, but the verb must agree with the closer subject, the accuser. The answer is choice D. Section 2, question set 10. Transitions.
Difficult questions.
Question 1. The Eiffel Tower.
Contrast versus elaboration.
The passage says, nicknamed La Dame de Fer, or the Iron Lady, the Eiffel Tower, built in 1887, stretches over 300 meters into the sky. Blank, it remained the tallest freestanding structure in the world until the Chrysler Building surpassed it in 1929. The question asks which choice completes the text with the most logical transition. Here are the choices. Choice A, consequently.
Choice B, furthermore. Choice C, in fact. Choice D, as a result.
The first sentence tells us that the Eiffel Tower is very tall. The second sentence gives a stronger, more specific fact about that same idea. It says the tower was the tallest freestanding structure in the world until 1929. So the second sentence is not a contrast. It is also not really a result. It is confirming and emphasizing the first sentence. The best transition is in fact. In fact is used when the next statement sharpens or strengthens the previous point. That is exactly what happens here. Choice A, consequently, is wrong because it suggests cause and effect. Choice D, as a result, has the same problem. The tower did not hold the record as a result of the previous sentence. The second sentence is just giving more evidence of how tall it was. Choice B, furthermore, is not terrible, but it is too weak. It simply adds information. In fact, better captures the way the second sentence emphasizes the first. The answer is choice C. Question 2. Combustion. Drawing a conclusion. The passage says,
oxygen, an essential component of combustion, combines with hydrogen and carbon in fuel to release heat. Blank, oxygen-enriched air serves to increase combustion efficiency. The question asks which choice completes the text with the most logical transition.
Here are the choices. Choice A, for example.
Choice B, furthermore.
Choice C, nevertheless. Choice D, therefore.
The first sentence explains the chemistry. Oxygen helps fuel burn by combining with hydrogen and carbon to release heat.
The second sentence draws a conclusion from that idea. If oxygen is essential for combustion, then adding more oxygen can make combustion more efficient. So we need a transition that shows a conclusion.
Therefore is the best choice.
Choice A, for example, is wrong because the second sentence is not just an example, it is a logical result. Choice B, furthermore, only adds information. It does not show the cause and effect relationship. Choice C, nevertheless, signals contrast. But the second sentence does not oppose the first sentence. The answer is choice D. Question 3. Sleep deprivation. An unexpected addition. The passage says,
far too many Americans today are sleep deprived. Not getting enough sleep can increase risk factors for many serious health conditions such as depression, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and vascular disease. Blank, driving while sleep deprived is analogous to driving while intoxicated.
The question asks which choice completes the text with the most logical transition. Here are the choices. Choice A, certainly.
Choice B, to illustrate. Choice C. Conversely. Choice D, surprisingly. The first two sentences focus on health problems caused by sleep deprivation. The third sentence shifts to a different kind of danger, driving while sleep deprived.
That comparison is unexpected. Most people connect impaired driving with alcohol, not lack of sleep. So the best transition is surprisingly. Choice A, certainly, only shows confidence. It does not show that the next idea is unexpected.
Choice B, to illustrate, is wrong because the driving example does not illustrate depression, high blood pressure, diabetes, or vascular disease. It is a separate danger.
Choice C, conversely, is wrong because it signals contrast. The final sentence does not contrast with the earlier sentences. It adds a surprising related point.
The answer is choice D.
Question 4. Millennials and convenience, signaling a specific example. The passage says, millennials, those born between 1981 and 1996, are notoriously known for their need of convenience. Having their grocery store items delivered to use the time for another task, blank, is one way that millennials have led the charge in normalizing the use of a service to complete mundane chores around the house. The question asks which choice completes the text with the most logical transition. Here are the choices. Choice A, in other words.
Choice B, meanwhile. Choice C, for example.
Choice D, nonetheless. The first sentence gives a general claim. Millennials are known for wanting convenience. The second sentence gives a specific case, having groceries delivered.
No!
So the transition needs to show that the second sentence is an example of the first sentence. The best choice is, for example, choice A, in other words, is wrong because it signals a restatement. The second sentence is not just restating the first, it is giving an example.
No.
Choice B, meanwhile, is wrong because it means at the same time. The passage is not describing two events happening at the same time. Choice D, nonetheless, is wrong because it signals contrast. There is no contrast here. The answer is choice C.